I am dining at every restaurant in Epcot's World Showcase, and today we're checking out Shiki Sai. This restaurant, located in the Japan Pavilion, is serving up some amazing sushi and izakaya, and in my opinion is one of the most underrated restaurants in Epcot. As the newest restaurant in the World Showcase, this is one of the easiest dining reservations you're gonna find in the park. And yes, it is expensive, but this restaurant offers the best views and some really high quality food. With that being said, I have been on this mission for this whole year, and after this, I still have 2 restaurants to get to. I don't know where time has gone, but this year has flown by, so I'm gonna be squeezing all of the World Showcase dining in these next few weeks. But I'm gonna go check in and I'll catch up with you guys once I'm inside. Well guys, we have lucked out and scored a beautiful table right by the window. Seriously, even if you're just gonna get like 1 or 2 things on the menu and you just wanna enjoy a very chill, amazing view, this is the place to come. It always starts you off with a little towel to clean your hands. And let me just say, I have had some of the best service that I've ever had at Disney at this restaurant. The servers are so sweet, so helpful, and they always try and make like a personal connection here, I feel. I don't know. I love the service at this restaurant. So service, a view like this, and good food, that's a recipe for a good restaurant, if you ask me. And speaking of food, this menu is huge. There's like something for everyone here, I like to say. I know a lot of people don't like seafood, but if you don't like seafood, don't worry. There's a ton of like meat options, and then if you do like seafood, there are of course a ton of seafood options as well. But I really like that there's like a good mix of both. So let's take a look over the menu here. Shiki Sai, Festival of the 4 Seasons. So yes, this restaurant is themed to the 4 seasons. You'll see some nods around the restaurant, which I might show you guys on the way out here. But here is some of our seafood. We've got some eel up there. I don't even know. Overflowing sushi, some rolls, a dragon roll, a Tokyo negi roll. That's actually like my favorite roll here. It's really tasty. A bunch of other different rolls, some sushi. And guys, when this restaurant first opened, everyone went crazy over the sushi boat, the $300 sushi boat that feeds 4 to 6 people. One of these days, I'll come back and get that entire boatload of sushi. It's not going to be today, but if you wanted something smaller, they also have like this bridge here that's $100 and serves 2 to 4 people, or some other like smaller sushi kind of offerings. Once we flip the page, we'll get into some of the starters here. A couple of things I haven't had many of these things, so we're gonna have to check them out. But we've got some starters. It looks like some chips, some pickled veggies, some karage chicken. I've had that. It's pretty good. I know the Japanese potato salad is popular. A ton of like tempura items, some clams. Oh my God, one of the best things on this entire menu. And then here's our izakaya. There is, of course, Wagyu beef here, and I don't think I'm going to be getting it today, but I actually have, my first time having Wagyu was at this restaurant here. It's $120 for just 4 ounces of it. You could get it kind of prepared any way that you want. They also have grilled Wagyu gyoza. These were pretty good as well. $20 for 3 though, but you can see kind of a ton of different things to choose from. And we're not even done going over the menu yet. Like I said, this menu is huge. There's still like so much more to go through, and it's not broken up like appetizers, entrees, and desserts. It's kind of all mixed into one category. So next we have all of the stuff from the grill. You can see some skewered meats up here. So this is kind of like a good option, these skewers. For people who don't eat seafood, the skewers range in price from $6 to $8. You can kind of choose as many as you'd like. There's also some beef udon, a couple other noodle dishes, our kids menu here, and then even more rice and noodles on the menu. I see another favorite right here. But yeah, there's seriously so much, and we are not done. All of the different sushi is here. You can see all of our rolls over here as well. And guys, we're still going, the drinks. But on the back, they also offer like an omakase meal, which I will not be participating in today, but I actually don't think it's like that great of a deal. Last time I was here, I kind of added everything up that I would have gotten, and I was like, it doesn't really make much sense for me, but I still want to show you guys in case you're interested. So for adults, you can choose from this option or this option. They're both $65, and you get to choose one dish from each category that's kind of listed here. So you can take a look if you'd like, pause if you do need to. Like I said, for me, when I kind of added everything up, it didn't really make much sense, but if you want to check it out, definitely do that. I have been here a handful of times, and I've also actually made a video here right when they first opened. I want to say it was honestly like either the first or second day that this restaurant opened. I came with some friends and I made a video, and I tried like a ton of really good things. I loved my meal, and it's crazy because every time I've come since then, which has been about like 3-4 times, I've pretty much gotten like the same thing because I enjoyed it so much. But today I kind of want to branch out and try things that I have not tried before, or at least haven't covered in my videos in the past. And another thing that I really like about this restaurant, it kind of correlates, I guess, is that they have pictures with all of the food. So like you can see the food before you order it. And some of this stuff, you know, I've never like heard of before. So it's really great to kind of like put a photo to the name so I know exactly what I'm ordering and what it's gonna look like before getting it. It's just very helpful, and I think all restaurants should do this. And these photos are honestly coming in so clutch because before I came here, I actually made a list of food that I might be interested in ordering, and I had this pickled crispy Japanese vegetables on my list because I've never like seen anyone get it before, and I love pickled veggies, but honestly this photo kind of deterred me away from ordering it. Doesn't look that good. I had this on my list as well, but I don't know, neither of them look that great. I still might try one of them, but who knows. But these photos, seriously, they come in clutch. As I'm sitting here just watching over my world showcase here, seriously, this view, I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. But I'm watching everyone kind of line up for the candlelight processional, and I just put in my first order of food. I'm gonna kind of do this in rounds. There's so many things I want to try and so many different things on the menu. So I'm gonna order like a little bit at a time.
This is sakamushi clam.
Oh, those are my favorite.
There we go.
Looks so good, thank you. Well, the food has just come out, and guys, the smells coming from these clams, insane. So we definitely have to start there. This is the sakamushi clam. They are steamed clams in a sake-infused broth for $18. It's kind of crazy because this is probably my favorite dish in this entire place, and I technically have never even ordered it. Last time I was here, I was with my friend Katie, and her mom actually ordered these clams here. They let me try one because they said they were just so good, and I fell in love in that moment. Seriously, it is not like any other Japanese dish that I have ever had. Now, we are working with like tiny clams. Like these are in no way any type of like meaty clam. The meat in there is super tiny. The shell is super tiny. But of course, what makes this is this sake-infused broth. In fact, last time this broth was so good that we actually asked for a spoon, and we're like finishing the entire rest of the bowl of broth because that is just how good they are. But let's pick up one of our clams here, dunk it in just a ton of that sauce. I feel like it's easier actually if I take it out of the shell first and then go for a dunk to get up all that juice, as much juice as possible. Oh. The flavor of that broth is just so unique. It kind of reminds me of like a white wine kind of broth that you might find in like Italian cooking. But you can really taste that sake. There's a lot of garlic, a lot of green onion there. It's just so incredibly flavorful, and you can just kind of smell the sake, similar to like where you can smell a white wine sauce. You can just smell the sake kind of coming up, and it's just perfect. This bowl is so warm. It is so chilly out. I'm wearing my LBB sweatshirt, but it's so cold out today, so this is honestly like the perfect dish. It is very expensive for the size, I will admit, but if you're not worried about price and you're just worried about sheer flavor, I'm telling you guys, come over here to Shiki Sai and try these clams. We are starting off real hot here today. The next thing I actually ordered is another thing I have never tried before. This is the eggplant. It's topped with a miso sauce for $9, and my server actually let me know that this is very, very good, and the miso sauce on top is good. I love eggplant. I've never had any type of Japanese eggplant. I typically have like Italian eggplant parm, but I do love me some eggplant, so I am very excited to try this here dish. Also, this dish is like really cool. It's like a rock. I like it. I'm not really quite sure how to go about eating this. I do have a knife, so I guess I'm supposed to cut myself a piece of the eggplant here, but I can't wait to try that miso sauce on top. I don't know if I'm eating this correctly, but I just cut myself off a piece, and let's try this out here. Okay, at first I was like, this is really good, and then once I got to chewing a little bit more, this sounds really, really weird. It tastes like funnel cake. I don't know how that's possible, but to me, it kind of tastes like the fried batter. And I'm assuming maybe this eggplant here is fried, and they also did keep the skin on the eggplant. I'm sure that's the traditional way of serving it, but just for me personally, I don't love the texture of the eggplant skin. The eggplant inside is super soft, like mush soft almost. I would honestly compare it to like an overripe banana, the way that the inside is cooked. And that sauce is just, I think the sauce is what's adding that funnel cake flavor that I'm tasting again. I don't know how, but the sauce has a very unique flavor. I'm definitely getting a little bit of miso. It tastes a lot like teriyaki as well. And I think it's like very, very sweet too. A little bit more sweet than I expected. I expected this to be more of like a savory kind of dish. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. Let me try another piece here. Guys, I'm still getting the funnel cake flavor. I don't know. Am I going insane? Has anyone else tried this here and tasted funnel cake? Because I feel like this should not be happening. Also, I feel like I would probably be judged for the way I'm cutting this. I feel like you might just supposed to be like picking it up and eating it, but I don't know if I'm going crazy or what, but I swear I taste funnel cake. Well, after the funnel cake eggplant, I also have these Gobo chips to try. These are strips of crispy fried burdock root seasoned with salt and onori for $8. Now this here looks like it's probably not going to be the best of deals, as it's essentially, it kind of reminds me of like a Japanese chip. But I really wanted to try this because I've never had burdock before. It's a root vegetable that I've always heard of, but I've just never tried it. And I just had to look up what some of the seasoning on here was, and it's kind of like a little dried seaweed situation. So let's grab ourselves some of these little chips here and try them out. Well, I can certainly see how these here would be addicting. I just took like 4 handfuls before speaking. They're really good. It's the flavor of the seasoning that keeps me coming back. It's so salty, but like the perfect amount of salt. Now there is a little bit of like reddish kind of flakes on some of these, and I'm wondering what that seasoning is, because it does add just like the tiniest little bit of spice, almost similar to like an Old Bay kind of tastes like. But the burdock is really, really crispy. It's kind of like a tortilla strip. Like, these are like super fun to eat as well. They kind of get all over the place because they're all intertwined. But they're fun to eat. They're really good. $8 for this? That's really, really questionable. That's really expensive for what this is, essentially. But I'll have you know, it is really good. And I actually cannot stop eating it. So I feel like I'm gonna have to take this plate and put it on the other side of the table so I can eat the rest of my food, because I did just order some more. Next up, I did decide to order some sushi, and as I was kind of flipping through, I saw my favorite, the Tokyo Negi roll, which has green onion tempura, tuna tatake, also has jalapeno in there. It is seriously so good, like one of my favorite sushi rolls ever, but I get it every single time I come. So I decided, you know, I think I should change things up. And as I was flipping through, you know, they don't really have that many like specialty sushi rolls that you would typically see at other sushi, like American sushi restaurants here around Orlando at least. They don't have that many of that kind. They have a lot of like raw sashimi and raw, you know, and then they have like the basic rolls. They have like shrimp tempura, they have a California roll, like just a regular tuna roll, obviously a ton of nigiri. Then I saw this Bluefin Negitoro roll, and I do like bluefin tuna. I was actually told that this tuna here is flown in, imported from Japan, so I'm expecting it to be really good. So like I said, here we do have the Bluefin Negitoro roll. This is gonna run you $18. And when this was brought over, I was like, that for $18. I could have got the Tokyo Negi roll for $22 more, and there are way more pieces of sushi. This is kind of tiny, but it is bluefin tuna, so like I said, it should be good quality. I did expect it to be a little bit more, but this does look really good. Let's dig right into this sushi here. I'm gonna go no soy sauce first, just to taste all the bluefin flavor. Yeah, that is really, really good. The bluefin just like melted away. I love bluefin and toro and stuff because it is so fatty. And I've honestly been like craving sushi for the past couple of weeks. I just have no good sushi spots by me, so I haven't gotten a chance to get some. So this is really hitting the spot. And that bluefin in there is really, really good. I know this is a bad example to show you because it's the end of the roll, but there is a really good ratio of like rice to fish in here and rice to green onion. And I do love green onion, so the green onion in here is working really, really nicely, but everything is kind of just allowing that bluefin to shine while just complementing it just a little bit. I do want to try a bit with some soy sauce next though. Just a little dunk there. I thought it was going to drip again. I didn't want to get it on myself, but I know this is going to get everywhere. Oh, there we go. Of course, that is just delicious, but yeah, this does not need the soy sauce whatsoever. I just love the flavor of that bluefin tuna there. So, so, so delicious. Like I said, this is just hitting the spot. There are a couple really good sushi places around Orlando, but none around where I live. There's some like really high quality places. I went to like an omakase dinner not too long ago and had some really great like toro and, you know, all those like really high quality cuts of tuna and stuff. It was delicious. And this is kind of bringing me right back to this. Honestly, I think the quality in this is really, really good. Now, I don't know too much about like bluefin and toro and tuna and stuff. All I know is what tastes good, and I think this tastes delicious. Is it worth $18 for the 6 pieces? I actually might consider getting it again. Yeah, it's really good. But as much as I want to order more sushi, guys, I want to get something for the non-seafood eaters as well. So I'm kind of looking at some of the other stuff, maybe some noodles, some rice here. You know, a bowl of like udon sounds really good right now because it is just so chilly. So maybe I'll do some noodles. Maybe I'll do some noodles for you non-seafood eaters. Usually I just go right for my go-to, the ishiyaki sukiyaki rice. It's like fried rice and it's served tableside. It's such an awesome presentation. And the strips of beef kind of like cook in the hot stone bowl. It is so good. There's so much umami flavor. It's like a teriyaki kind of sauce that the rice is tossed in and everything. It is so delicious. But in the spirit of trying new things and being adventurous today, I decided to get this Kamo Udon. They're udon noodles topped with slices of braised duck for $30. Guys, this was put on my table at this point after I've taken all my photos and videos for YouTube, for TikTok, for Instagram. This has been on my table for 5-ish minutes at this point, and there is still steam coming off of this dish somehow. I don't know, it is so hot. And I was kind of between this and the beef yaki udon. I asked my server which one was better and which I should get. She recommended this udon soup with duck, and I'm kind of happy with her decision because like I said, it's so chilly out right now, so this udon should hit different. We'll see, I haven't tried it yet. But it should be really, really good and obviously nice and warm because it is still steaming as we speak. And I mentioned the menu has like photos of all the food and how sometimes it could help you or like hurt you from ordering something, and I didn't get those pickled vegetables because they didn't look great on the menu. I'll have you know, this looked good on the menu, but it looks even better in person. There's like more duck. This mushroom in here looks amazing. I don't know. This looks really good. It should be really good. Before we get into the duck and the noodles and all that stuff, I want to just try the broth here on its own while it's still super hot. That broth is so rich. The amount of flavor in there is insane. You could tell the fattiness from the duck has kind of gotten into the broth and made it really fatty itself, but it's super, super flavorful, very savory with just a little hint of sweetness in there. I think that's from the yuzu. I think she said there's like yuzu on the top here, and that's why it was like one of her favorite things. But This broth on its own is really, really good. I need more. Now for some of the noodles here. And these are obviously thick udon noodles as expected. It kind of absorbed all of that broth, cooked perfectly. Obviously very, very thick and chewy. Exactly what I wanted from a bowl of udon soup so far. Now for the duck here, and this piece is like honestly a lot thicker than I thought. From the photo, it looked like there were only like 3 pieces of duck, but we got 5 pretty decently sized pieces here. Try it out. The duck is very, very fatty, so it's a little bit hard to eat with chopsticks. I might have to peel some of that fat off, but this fat almost, or the duck almost has, it tastes like pork almost, just like a bit of a fattier pork. That's what it tastes like to me. And I know this might be a little adventurous for some, but I would recommend you come try this out, you know? Duck is really, really good. And I've had duck a bunch of times, but I feel like this might be like one of the best preparations of duck that I've had at least in a while. And as I'm sitting here eating my bowl of udon, the sun is setting on Epcot. You can see the sun kind of setting on the test track building just across the way, which they actually just announced should be opening like this summer. But man, I just cannot get over this view. Look at Spaceship Earth right over there. Like we have like a straight on shot view of Spaceship Earth. I could sit here for hours, honestly. This is like perfect table. After that udon, I am certainly full. We've had so much food. I was a little bit worried because after I had like all the appetizers and the sushi and stuff, I was like, I'm still hungry. I haven't had anything like substantial, but the udon put me over the edge. I want to take a look at the dessert menu here too, because we can't do a review without dessert at the end. For dessert, we have an option of an Ichiago parfait. That looks fun. $18 though for an ice cream sundae. Out of your mind. They also have soft serve ice cream, a mango mousse cake, a yuzu cheesecake. I've had both of these and they're really good. I've also had the soft serve ice cream before and I remember it being amazing. It says they have seasonal flavors, but these seasonal flavors are vanilla and green tea. I had the green tea one and it was so good, and I found out I could kind of do a swirl, so I decided to get that. I just strongly dislike when restaurants say that something is seasonal, like they have a seasonal soup or a seasonal this or a seasonal that, and it doesn't actually change. Like just put that you have this flavor of ice cream or this flavor of soup. Like so many times I will go to a Disney restaurant and they'll have like a seasonal soup on the menu. I'll be like, oh, what's this seasonal soup? And they'll say it's, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, it was the same thing like 5 months ago. So how seasonal is it? Why put seasonal if it's not actually seasonal? I don't know. That's just a small anger of mine. Let's get a nice scoop of the swirl. I don't know what they got going on with their green tea ice cream here at Shiki Sai, but their green tea soft serve is probably the best I've ever had. It's so creamy and almost like earthy, and it just pairs really, really well with the combo of the vanilla there. I'm glad I got the swirl. Well, we have finished up with dinner. I'm just standing on top where the restaurants are here. Look at this view. Oh my gosh. This view is insane. Just like the view from our table, and my table would have been the perfect place to watch the fireworks. I know a lot of people like to dine there. It's literally the place to be to watch the fireworks. I love being able to sit down and enjoy a meal while watching like some entertainment. I don't know. That'd be awesome. The view would be perfect from those tables. And every time I dine at Shiki Sai, I always ask for one of those tables. So pro tip, definitely make sure you ask when you're checking in. Ask if there are any tables by the window. I've never not gotten one. There are a couple of other rooms, but I always prefer that room that's just surrounded by windows with the good view. And our meal tonight, you know, was definitely really good. I still think the classics, my go-to order, is still the goated order at Shiki Sai in that Tokyo negi roll, the ishiyaki sukiyaki rice, and the clams. Those are the 3 best things on the menu, in my opinion. Now, I did really enjoy my sushi roll from tonight as well, and I definitely recommend and get that again, but it's It's a pricier one, you know, for the size. But I do enjoy a lot of the rest of the menu at Shiki Sai as well. I think it's definitely an underrated spot. Like, no one's ever in there. No one's out here talking about it. Everyone's up here going to Pan Ito, the hibachi restaurant that it's connected to. No one is going to Shiki Sai, and you should. It's expensive, but it's a good treat yourself kind of like sushi meal. And with that, we officially only have 2 restaurants to go. One of them is right here in Japan, Takumi Te, which is actually the only restaurant in all of Disney World. I have eaten at every single restaurant, including Victoria and Albert's. The only restaurant I have not been to in all of Disney World is Takumi Te. It's a $250 omakase experience down below in the Japan Pavilion. I'm looking forward to it a lot. I expect a lot. It should be really good. But we'll have that coming up very, very soon. And then we also have Monsieur Paul that I have to get to, which is the expensive French restaurant. Like I said, I don't know, this was bad planning on my part. I saved both of the really expensive restaurants for the very end, and we only have like a couple of weeks to get to them. So I don't know, I might go to one of them next week. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. But keep an eye out for reviews on those restaurants. And if you've been with me since review number 1, which I think I did on like January 2nd or 3rd or something, at the beginning of this year, I went to Chefs de France. That was my first one. So shout out to you guys if you've been with me from World Showcase review number 1. And if you're interested in seeing any of them from the past, they're all up on my channel. I'm going to put the playlist attached in like one of the next slides here. But definitely take a look if you're interested in dining at any of the World Showcase restaurants. Yeah, take a watch. Thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers for supporting my channel. You guys rock. I think I'm going to meet some friends here in Epcot, maybe enjoy the festival of the holidays a little bit, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Really exciting announcement coming very, very soon also, so stay tuned. Bye!